Welcome to Fiddlestix.
And there you found the key.
Bunions and Dragons!
Hey, welcome back to Bunions and Dragons. Thanks for tuning in again. We didn't get to play last week's Storm King's Thunder campaign. We had some issues with some players, not a big deal. I was able to pull out my homebrew campaign called the Untold God. By homebrew, I mean that the adventures will be custom. We'll make them up, some of them even on the fly. It is set in the Forgotten Realms world. And starts off in a small village, the small village of Fiddlestix, not too far from Neverwinter.
Welcome to Fiddlestix.
It is comprised of a number of different characters. They range right now from 3rd level to 5th level. And in the Untold God, existing characters in other campaigns that our players chose had a vision of some unnamed god that appeared to them. Told them there was much work to be done.
I have summoned you here. There is much work to be done. Arise and get to it.
And then they mysteriously woke up at an inn in the village of Fiddlestix. With that recollection, it was as if their soul, if you will, was pulled out of the other character, whisked away through the multiverse, and put into this Untold God world. So with this campaign, we're going to have various players that are able to sign in. We'll run different adventures with different adventure hooks. Whoever is available when we have time to play, that's what we'll play. And that's what we're here to share with you, is our campaign diary, not only for our own notes, but for your enjoyment as well, hopefully. As we're doing with the Storm King's Thunder campaign, we're kind of starting off the campaign diary after the campaign has started. At some point, maybe we'll look back and do some reminiscing about earlier adventures, but we want to capture these tales on a forward-going basis. Some other important things that we'll want to note, and I'm kind of revealing this to my players right now, one of the magic items that they have already recovered from an elven princess is the Belt of Truth.
Hey, I'm carrying that. Nobody else wanted to because it made them feel like they were Wonder Woman.
It'll be a very important piece. I'm not going to disclose why, but keep that in mind as we move forward through our adventure. Something else that has already happened that is very pivotal that I'll share with you is the mayor of Fiddlestix. His name is Mar. He's kind of a retired soldier. Awarded a farm property north of Fiddlestix to the players. The players the characters rather, were able to dispatch ghouls. They had come in and slaughtered everybody that was living in the farmhouse and in the farm complex. Everybody was dead.
Yeah, I did most of that. I think there was about 4 of them, but I'm telling everybody there was at least a dozen.
The heroes of our stories were able to dispatch the ghouls, and the mayor of Fiddlestix wanted to reward those players. So, in a ceremony conducted at Archer's Ale House, he announced to the village the hero's accomplishments, and that he was awarding the main farmhouse in the farm property north of Fiddlestix to the players, or rather to the characters, as their guild house.
I was pretty shocked because just the previous day I had killed some farmer in the street. I thought I was helping out, but the evil nature overtook me and I just dropped him right in the street.
They named the guild house the Pals for Life Guild.
Leroy Jenkins.
Mar, the mayor, had also made an announcement that any of the villagers who wanted to move into the other homes to sharecrop their property and also for the guild, if they would provide maintenance services to the guild house and provide food to the heroes within the guild, they could sharecrop those properties for free.
Good thinking, Mayor, because if you think I'm going to make my bed or cook my breakfast myself, you got another thing coming.
So the characters have set up base there. That will be kind of the launching point for their various adventures. So Fred was playing Elric.
Hi, I'm Elric, a warlock fighter.
Greg was playing Dark Turban, a tiefling barbarian.
Hi, my name's Dark Turban. I think it used to be Dark Turin back where I used to live before I got sucked through the multiverse and wound up here in Fiddlestix.
And Timmy was playing a half-orc fighter named Clobber.
I am Clobber, and it is clobbering time.
At the mayoral celebration at Archer's Ale House in Fiddlesticks, the Mayor Marr pulled the party aside and said he had a special mission for him, or for them rather. The mission could be rather dangerous, but it could have a very significant reward. Marr wanted the party to retrieve the skull of the burning mage, which is the skull of a dead mage, and found in the crypt of the burning mage. The party inquired where they could find such a crypt.
Hey, Mayor, where do we go from here?
And the Mayor Marr explained they could head southwest out of Fiddlesticks, and they would run across it. It was just before the Withered Woods. So the party set out to find the crypt of the burning mage. Marr told the party that if they were able to bring back the skull of the burning mage, he could use that to recharge a magical piece of armor that he would be happy to bestow upon the party as a reward for finding, retrieving, and giving him the skull of the burning mage.
I use armor. Magic armor would be pretty cool. Let's do this.
Clobber's wanting to try out a greatsword, so they went to Finney's, the provisioner. But Finney said he didn't have a greatsword. That he would keep his eyes out for one. He just had basic adventurer's provisions, but no weaponry. But he'll keep an eye out for one, and pretty soon, hopefully, Clobber will be able to get his hands on a greatsword. So the party of three heads out of Fiddlesticks, southwest. About 3/4 through the day, they came across some bandits. First, they were distracted by crow-sized dragon birds. That's the best way to explain it.
Well, looky there. There's something to kill. Let's go kill those.
And the party inched in into a alcove of trees, if you will, where the crow-sized dragon birds were flying around. The party got close enough to these creatures to have the creatures fly off. The creatures were not attacking them, and the party surmised that this is probably not a difficult encounter. They did notice in the middle of the grove or alcove made of the trees, if you will, there is a circle of stone, probably a foot or two high. What was it, about 15 feet, maybe 20 feet in diameter. And they couldn't quite see what was past the grove, so they started to head southeast towards that unknown area and towards the ring. As they got closer to the ring, they could see an outline of a monstrous dragon with his head moving back and forth and smoke billowing from his mouth. And the dragon said to them, "Place your valuables in the ring of stone, walk away, and I might have you live."
Hey, there's something funny looking about that dragon.
The characters were not impressed. They thought something was amiss, and they were not going to be relinquishing their valuables. They were not giving up their valuables. They were not putting their valuables in the ring.
No way, no how, nuh-uh.
Clobber charged the dragon, striking its head. With his multiple attacks as a fighter, he was able to destroy the head, causing the flamethrower in the fake dragon's mouth to explode.
It burns, it burns, it burns.
Clobber suffered 12 hit points of damage, and the Lizard King, who was operating the flamethrower within this fake dragon's head, also suffered from the explosion and made his savings throw a disadvantage. So he was hurled out of the blast range. Clobber took a little bit of damage. The ruse was revealed. The dragon was made up of a wood frame with some painted canvas stretched over it. They had a mechanical flamethrower in the mouth that he would use for fire attacks. Oh yes, prior to Clobber's attack on the Dragonhead did unleash a burst of flame. Clobber suffered 11 points of damage from that attack, and that's when he set in to destroy it. When the fake dragon was destroyed and the Lizard King was expelled from the blast area, his name is Scrivix. Scrivix got to his feet, and battle ensued. Behind him, he had 6 Kenku minions who were also up for the attack, both with bows and short swords, and game on.
I'm going into a full-on rage.
Dark Turban the Barbarian was in a rage. Thank goodness for him. He had resistance against piercing, bludgeoning, and slashing damage. So he was only taking basically half the damage due to his resistance, which was a great thing. Very quickly, Dark Turban was surrounded by the Kenku. He made his attack towards the Lizard King, and he was surrounded on all sides, taking the brunt of the damage. Clobber was also surrounded on 3 sides and handled himself rather well. Clobber dropped 2 of the Kenku and started moving in to help Dark Turban with his particular battle. Elric was unleashing Eldritch Blasts at the opponents and also positioning himself for further attacks.
Pew pew, pew pew pew.
Dark Turban was down to 4 hit points before Scrivix, the Lizard King, was dispatched and killed, and the final Kenku slayed. Elric let off a Witch Bolt, but was 5 feet too far from the Lizard King, so the spell had no effect.
What? Nobody's perfect.
Elric was able to go back to the Eldritch Blast and cast the Killing Blow on Scrivix, and they all fell. 470 experience points was awarded to the party to be divvied up. Oh no, that was each. 470 experience points each. They also received 132 copper pieces and 13 silver pieces that they divvied up pretty equally among all the party members.
Man, those bandits must not have been very successful if that's all the loot that they were carrying.
Elric also snatched the trident off of Scrivix. Felt good in his hands. He's decided to keep it.
It's because I heard 4 out of 5 dentists recommend Trident.
They camped for the night. Elric slept actually inside the circle of stone. Clobber was off to the west. Dark Turban was off to the east. And it was a pretty uneventful night. They woke up the next morning and they set out for and found the Crypt of the Burning Mage. 3 characters descended down in a rusty iron ladder down into the crypt, and they were met by a large and ferocious ogre. The party had very little trouble in dropping the ogre and utterly destroying it, receiving 150 experience points each, which was just enough to put Dark Turban over to get 5th level. Dark Turban wanted to have the party take a break. Maybe spend the night somewhere, take a long rest, and he can gather up his 5th level abilities. So that's what they decided to do on the first watch. However, Elric was on first watch. He looked off to the horizon about 110 feet out and noticed 4 centaurs. Elric awoke in the party.
Psst, everybody, wake up. I think there's stuff to kill.
At first, I think that they were trying to lure the centaurs in outside of, or closer into melee range. They suspected that the centaurs were carrying bows, so they wanted to close the gap with friendly conversation. Elric has pretty high charisma, so he and Dark Turban made friendly gestures towards the centaurs to find out what was going on there, what they were doing out and about, and they invited them to share their fire and maybe some rest. So with some successful rolls, they were able to draw the centaurs in. By that point, I think the party may have rethought the deceptive attack on the centaurs and decided instead to start building a friendship.
Well, that's interesting. I guess we don't have to kill everything.
So Dark Turban used his survival skills and his outlander background to gather enough food, forage enough food to have a fine meal of rabbit and dandelion salad.
No self-respecting half-orc is going to eat a dandelion salad.
The leader is a male centaur named Glusnar. Also in the party was a female centaur named Ninal, a female centaur named Clinus. In the morning, the centaurs had repaid the favor. They were able to find a good number of snake eggs that they cooked up, and they also had some steamed dandelion greens along with that for breakfast. After the good night's rest and establishing some friendship with this group of centaurs, the party headed back to the crypt of the Burning Mage. Inscribed on the face of this stone at the entrance of the crypt of the Burning Mage was a legend about how this used to be a dwarven stronghold, and the powerful mage took it over, and that he was slain, and that the skull, his skull, is rumored to have that property that can recharge old magic armor, and maybe even weapons and shields that have lost their magical power through the years. This particular artifact should be able to restore that, and that's what Mar had hired them to do. And that's where our adventure concluded. Because of the long rest, if we have other players that are signing in later when we run some more adventures in the Untold God campaign, it would make sense that they'd be able to come from the guild house, travel southwest from Fiddlestix, and catch up with the 3 characters that had previously set out. So we'll see what's in store.
Hold on, fellas. I'm coming.
So thanks for watching the show. Share this video with your friends that play Dungeons & Dragons. Feel free to comment below, tell us what we're doing wrong, and or if you have ideas about how this adventure could shape up, feel free to share that down here in the blah blah section. And stay tuned. We look forward to sharing our adventures with you down the road.
No self-respecting half-orc is going to eat a dandelion salad.